Hello, I'm David Chaston with 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz. This week, get everything you need to know in 90 seconds at 9 o'clock with news that global factories are chugging along nicely at present despite the pandemic risks. But first, there was another dairy auction overnight and it was very positive. Overall prices were up 4.3% in US dollars, and despite the ever-rising Kiwi dollar, they rose in local currency by 1.9%. This result was built on a 5% rise for whole milk powder prices, and overall prices are back to where they were at the start of 2020, although in local currency were still 7% lower as the ever-rising Kiwi dollar undermines the long-term gains. Today's result won't hurt Farmgate payout forecasts, however. In the US, a bipartisan group of lawmakers unveiled a $900 billion COVID-19 relief bill aimed at breaking a deadlock between Democrats and Republicans over new emergency assistance for small business and other industries. Perhaps some bipartisan action can now finally move them forward, but still there's no similar action for the jobless yet. Internationally, there were a raft of PMIs released overnight. The internationally benchmarked US factory PMI brought its steepest improvement since 2014, with the growth supported by faster upturns in output and new orders amid stronger domestic and foreign client demand. Globally, manufacturing expanded at one of its fastest rates in almost a decade during November, but it still should be remembered that these improvements will face challenges from second and third wave pandemic waves before the vaccines start to be effective. In China, their official factory PMIs were eclipsed by the private internationally benchmarked version, indicating a good expansion there. And in Hong Kong, retail sales were down almost 9% year on year in October, and the September result was revised lower. In Australia, their central bank has left its policy rate unchanged at 0.1%. But it did change its language around inflation, moving more to the US Fed view that they want to see actual inflation bed in rather than just inflation expectations rise before they move again with policy initiatives. Overall, the OECD sees a brighter future for the world's main economies, even if the recovery will be gradual. And although New Zealand took a bigger initial economic hit in the pandemic, it has bounced back faster and is in a better situation, the OECD says. US Treasury 10-year yield will start today up sharply at 0.92%, and that's an 8 basis points rise. And the price of gold has recovered sharply today as well, up $27 to $1,811 an ounce. And oil prices are a little softer today, now just under $45 a barrel in the US, while the international price is still at $47.50 a barrel. And the Kiwi dollar has moved slightly higher, up to 70.6 US cents this morning, and that's its highest since April 2018, or a 30-month high. Against the Australian dollar, we're much firmer too, at 96 Australian cents and a half a cent rise. Against the euro, we're holding at 58.6 euro cents, and that means our trade-weighted index will start today at 72.9 and a 20-month high. I'm David Chaston. That was 90 at 9, brought to you by interest.co.nz.